Welcome to the Millennial Rant, a podcast about whatever's bothering me today. With topics ranging from politics to pop culture, there's a rant to cover everyone. For more Millennial Rant content, you can join me on the web at millennialrant.com. Last June, at the Turning Point USA Women's Leadership Summit, whatever the actual title of that is, Moms for America officially launched Future Moms for America, and it was really great. It was a fantastic soft launch, and we, got our name out there, got some contacts. It was really good. It was a fun, enjoyable event, which was great. But since then, there's been a lot of questions about what exactly it is that Future Moms is and what it does and who is involved and all that sort of stuff. So I thought that since we're coming up on the soft launch anniversary, I'd go ahead and address that and talk about what it means to be a future mom, not just a future mom for America, but just a future mom in general. What does that mean? Who does that encompass? For those of you who may not know, because you're just happening on this video and haven't watched any of my others over the last year and a half, I am 36 years old, not married, I don't have children, and I am full-time employed by Moms for America. And I am not full-time employed by Moms for America to run Future Moms for America. That came way, way after. I do a lot of other stuff. My primary job is that I'm the personal assistant to the president, which is just a fancy way of saying I follow my mom around. And it's been really good. I've met a lot of really fantastic, amazing people. I feel like I've done a lot to contribute to not just the organization itself, but to the mission overall, which is to bring women together and give them the tools and the resources that they need to feel empowered and inspired and enabled to be able to go out and make a difference in their homes and in their communities. But because I'm not a mom, because I don't have, a family that is my own, I guess, there was a part of me that kind of always felt like I didn't belong in Moms for America. This wasn't a place for me. I'm not allowed to be here outside of my capacity as a employee. And it's not true. Moms for America has always opened its arms to women who are not traditional mothers. But there was still that idea in me that I didn't belong there. And so I was talking to my mom, kicking it back and forth about the possibility of a adjacent group to Moms for America, not like an outside group, but like under the same Moms for America umbrella group that was for future moms. And my initial thought was that I would start it as a local group in my area with women like me, or maybe if I went off to college again, I'm currently in college right now, but I'm not at the university, then I could start one there with girls who were like me. And that didn't work out, because what ended up happening is I pitched this to my mom, and she's like, oh, you know what? That would be a really great national program that we could totally do. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, she'll kick that around as a national program. And then a week later, my mom said, oh, there's Turning Point's doing this event, and Future Moms for America is going to be a part of it, and we have 6 weeks to get everything together and ready. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So that's what we did. So I'm the national director of Future Moms for America because, like I said, it is under the umbrella of Moms for America. I'm not the president. I'm not anything like that. I'm the director. I oversee everything. And right now there's not really all that much to oversee. But I have a vice director, Haley Krolitis, and it's kind of ironic because my mom is the president and her mom is the vice president, and it just kind of happened organically, I guess. There are other mother-daughter teams that work for Moms for America, and the unmarried daughters of there are also part of it. We've got some other women and moms from America who are not moms, and so it's just kind of, it started in house, and I think that's honestly the best place to start it. But when it came down to defining it, the real question was, well, who is a quote future mom? There was a lot of push for this idea of, well, a future mom is a young woman between this age and this age who doesn't yet have kids. They might be married, but they don't have kids yet. And I was like, okay, that is a definition of future mom. But what about, the women who are in their 30s, like me, who haven't yet had that opportunity? What about, women who are married but are unable to have children, are unable to adopt for whatever reason? They can't foster, they can't, they've tried everything and they just can't. What about those older women who never had a chance to have children at all because they either never got married or they just couldn't have kids? They're grandma age maybe, and they don't have any children or grandchildren of their own. And what about the younger girls who are being lied to and told that if they want to make a difference in the world, they have to go out and find a career and don't have children until you're older, or don't have children at all, or if you do have children, leave them as quickly as possible and go back into the workforce? So all of this in my mind encompasses what it means to be a future mom. And for me personally, I can only speak obviously from my own experience. So what this means for me is I have 9 nieces and nephews from my, I don't know how many of them, four married brothers. And it's been honestly one of the greatest things ever, because being the fun, cool aunt is, it's like the best job you'll ever have, except that instead of getting paid to do it, I'm paying to do it. But it's still the greatest thing, because you get to enjoy them and they love you to absolute pieces, and then when they start to annoy you, you can go, okay, it's time to go back to mom and daddy now. So that's great. But it also opened my eyes to this whole different facet, I guess I could say, of what it means to mother, right? Because as women, it's in our nature to nurture. We're always going out and trying to find people that we can connect to and help build them up to be better. And typically, until we have children, if we ever have children, that's going to be the people around us, our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, the people that we meet at church, our nieces and nephews. And there are things that I can do in the lives of my nieces and nephews that their parents might not be able to do for one reason or another. One example is my oldest niece, Abby. We were watching a Barbie movie, and in this particular Barbie movie, Barbie, her character was a figure skater, and Abby was about 3, I would say, and she saw Barbie doing this, and she's like, I want to do that. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So we went to a skating rink, and we went out onto the ice, and she was super leery the first time, but she just had an absolute blast. She loved it. And so I was like, well, is this something that you would want to keep doing? And she said, yeah. And so I bought her a pair of skates, and once a week, if I was home, because I was traveling still a lot with Moms for America, but once a week when I was home, I would take her to the ice rink, and we would skate for as long as she wanted to skate. And so, I would take her around. I said, we have to go around at least once, because I paid for these skates and we're going to get at least a year's worth out of them, because that was about the time that it would take for her feet to grow out of them. So we would go, I would say we have to go around at least once, but however other many times we go around is totally up to you. So she would tell me ahead of time, I want to go 3 times around. I want to go 5 times around. One time she said 10. And so I was like, okay. And so we would go around, and when we did our one, I'd be like, okay, that's 1. And now we get to do however many more. And when we finished however many it was that she wanted to do, then I would say, okay, that's what you said. Do you want to keep going, or are you done? And most of the time she would say, I want to keep going. And I will admit that there was bribery involved. Every time we went ice skating afterwards, we would go to the Burger King that was right across the street, and we would get cherry ices with vanilla ice cream in them. And if you've never done that, it is freaking amazing, and you should try it. And so I would say, every time it's like, all right, so we went around as many times as you wanted. You get your icy. If you would like ice cream in your icy, we can go around one more time. And every time, one more time. And so it was this great opportunity. It was a confidence booster. It was something that was just hers. It was time that the two of us were spending together, where she felt like she had my complete undivided attention, because she did. There was literally nothing else that I could be doing when I'm skating with this child on the ice. And I found out later that one of the reasons why her mom was so grateful that I was willing to do this is because she can't skate. And she was worried that, she wouldn't be able to make that work. And of course, she had her other daughter. My brother was going to school full time. And so it was something that I could step in and do that they couldn't do for themselves. And that's a small thing, but it was a big thing to Abby. So that's kind of the purpose of Future Moms for America, is to do things for us, but also to do things for the people around us that they might not necessarily be able to do for themselves. And a lot of the time that's going to involve children. So what is it exactly that Future Moms for America does as a program under Moms for America? Future Moms for America does everything that Moms for America does. We just package it a little differently. Now, my biggest hope for this is that future moms will join cottage meetings or start cottage meetings in their communities that will be multi-generational. So you have, these future moms, you have young moms, you've got, mid-level moms, and of course grandmothers. And they can all come together in their local communities, create this connection, right? This sisterhood, which is what used to be what we did. You lived in a community and you connected with that community, and then you were able to help each other with different areas of what you could, or if someone could do this and someone could do that, you come together and you bridge the gap, right? You fill in those empty spaces. So that's really what I want from this, is to create a space where women from all walks of life, from all levels, are able to come together and enjoy the time that they have together, to learn together, to grow together, and to progress together. So some of the things that entails is, like I said, cottage meetings, but there's also family lobby, which you can totally do just on your own. You don't have to have your own family, children or a husband or whatever, to be able to do family lobby. There's also, running for public office. We have a really great support staff for training and endorsements and all that sort of stuff to help you be able to make a difference in your community. And a lot of people don't know that for a lot of these offices, you only have to be 18. I don't know. I mean, obviously the rules are different per district, per county, per state, right? So, but you can look into it, and you can see what you're qualified to run for age-wise and go for it. At the very least, it's a really fantastic, learning opportunity, even if you don't get in. And if you do get in, you have the opportunity to make a lot of really positive change. Another thing that we do is we have what's called the Lady Liberty Trip Journal. and I don't have one on me right now, but we do have them available at Moms for America as either a download for I think $5, or you can buy the actual journal book for, I want to say, $20. So those are options. But it's really fantastic because Moms for America has its Liberty trips where we have, this map of the United States and all sorts of monuments, memorials, history centers, battlefields, all these really great places where families can go on vacation to learn more about America, American history, history of their own local areas, and kind of put a real world touch on it, right? Because you can read about things all day long, but there's something really staying about touching and feeling and being and experiencing. But one of the problems that families are really running into here is that mom and dad are really interested in learning about this place that they've never been to. They don't know it. They've never been there. They've never, read the plaques, and so they'll go to these places that they're trying to learn, they're trying to read the plaques, and their kids are bored. Why are we here? This is so dumb. I want to go home. And so the parents get frustrated because the kids are frustrated, and then sometimes it works out okay, and other times it just doesn't. So that's where the Lady Liberty Trip Journal comes in. Right now we only have the one. It's Colonial America, and there are 13 cities in this book that are from the colonial revolutionary era. And within these 13 cities, there's a recommendation for a place to stay, a place to eat, and then several different monuments and other things in the area that you can go to and explore and enjoy. And so you make a girls trip, you and your 5 best friends, you guys go, you stay in the place that is either recommended, or you can get an Airbnb, or you can get your own accommodations, whatever, and you spend 2-3 days in this area going around and enjoying the local wines, enjoying the local restaurants, but also enjoying the local history. So you have this time to read the plaques and to feel the realness of what happened in these places. You can write it down, you can take pictures, and then you can take that home with you. You put it on a shelf, and that becomes a book that later you can read to your kids. You can show them the pictures. This is when we did this. This is what this is about. Oh, I loved this so much. I can't wait to share this with you. So that later, when you and your family decide that you want to go and visit these places with your kids, so that your kids can understand why it's important, not only to history, but also to you. Because if it's important to you, it will be important to your kids. You can take them, and they already know these places. They already know what they're looking for and what they can expect to experience. And it's been a game changer. Plus, you get 13 fun girls trips out of it. So why not? So right now, that's largely what we have going on. We have a monthly newsletter. Although I did miss the month of March because I was dead sick, so I apologize for that. But hopefully there won't be any more hiccups moving forward. We will see. Fingers crossed. But it's been a really great opportunity to meet with these younger girls and young women and older women also, like I said, who haven't had the chance to have children of their own, and to let them know that doesn't make them any less a part of Moms for America, that this is a movement that is welcoming of all women, regardless of their, life circumstances. So if you believe the things that we believe in, truth, family, freedom, and the Constitution, then I hope you'll join us as we try to build up our local communities into a true sisterhood that we're all a part of, no matter where we are in our lives.